The Triumphant. The promise. In the ancient days of Israel, when the kingdom was still young and the memory of wandering in the wilderness lived in the hearts of the elders, there rose a king whose story would echo through generations. His victories in battle were known across the lands, but the greatest triumph would come through a promise. This story unfolds in the sacred writings of the 2nd Samuel. After years of hardship and war, King David finally sat upon the throne of Israel. The kingdom was united. Jerusalem had become the capital, and the Ark of the Covenant rested in the city of David. Peace began to settle like a calm storm. David sat inside his palace of cedar wood, built with the help of allies. The walls were strong, the chambers beautiful, and the city prospered under his rule. But as David looked around at the palace, a thought troubled him. The Ark of God, the symbol of God's presence, was still kept inside a tent. David called for the prophet Nathan, a trusted servant of the Lord. David spoke with sincerity. "Here I am living in a house made of cedar, but the covenant box of God is kept in a tent." Nathan listened and at first thought David's idea was good. What king would not want this? So Nathan replied, "Go ahead and do everything you have in mind, because the Lord is with you." But that night, the Lord spoke to Nathan. The answer from heaven would change history. God sent Nathan back to David with a message, not a command for a house, but a reminder of the past. The Lord said, "I took you from the pasture, where you were taking care of sheep, and made you leader of my people Israel." David remembered those days well. He had once been a shepherd boy, protecting sheep from lions and bears. Yet God had lifted him from the fields. God continued, "I have been with you wherever you went, and I have defeated all your enemies for you." Every victory had come from the Lord. But God's message held something even greater. Instead of David building a house for God, God promised to build something for David. Nathan spoke the words, "The Lord promises that he will make a dynasty for you, a royal line that would continue beyond David's lifetime." God explained, "When your life is over, I will appoint one of your descendants to succeed you, and I will make his kingdom strong. He will build a temple for me, and I will make sure that his dynasty continues forever." Yet the promise stretched through time, beyond generations. God declared, "Your dynasty and your kingdom will continue forever in my presence. Your throne will be secure forever." This was a divine covenant. When David heard these words, he was overwhelmed. The king, who had faced giants and armies, now knelt quietly before the Lord. He entered the tent where the ark rested and prayed with deep humility. "Sovereign Lord, I am not worthy of what you have already done for me." David understood something powerful. He had once been a shepherd with no throne. Everything he possessed had been given by God's grace. And now God had promised something far greater than a temple of stone. God had promised a kingdom that would never end. David continued praying, "You have made known to me what will happen to my descendants in the future." His heart overflowed with gratitude. David praised the greatness of God. "There is no one like you, Lord God. We have never heard of another God like you." David had won many battles. He had conquered enemies and secured borders. But the greatest triumph was not military victory. It was God's promise. Years later, Solomon would build the temple. The generations would pass. Kings would rise and fall, and Israel would face exile and hardship. Yet the promise of God would never fail. From David's lineage would eventually come a king greater than any before him, a ruler whose kingdom never ends. David dreamed of a temple. God promised an eternal throne. David thought of a building. God was thinking of a kingdom that would last forever. True triumph is found in God's faithfulness. David's greatest victory was not defeating enemies. It was trusting the promise of the Lord. If you liked this story, please like, share, and subscribe for more deep Bible stories. Goodbye. May God bless you and everyone you love. Shalom.